Your Holiness, what do you intend to do?
I intend to start a revolution.
The only possible revolution that he can do is a conservative revolution.
From this day forward, everything that was wide open is going to be closed. This Pope isn't afraid to lose the faithful if they've been even slightly unfaithful. And that means this Pope does not negotiate.
He decides to be very close to the tradition of the Church. In the Middle Age, that was how the popes dressed up.
I love God because it's so painful to love human beings.
Voiello listens to these words. In that moment, he understands that he says true things about the condition of a priest.
I'm incapable of withstanding the heartbreak of love because I'm unhappy, like all priests.
Basta foto adesso.
Voiello has a lot of vices, but at the same time, he has one virtue. He knows what love is.
He changes his mind and he decides to love more than hate the Pope.
You were right. Your Pope really is a saint.
Dussolier is the best friend of Lenny.
He's been, like him, an orphan raised by Sister Mary.
They are very close to each other, but at the same time they are very different.
You're my best friend and I don't understand you. Why don't you want to talk?
I only want to talk about things that I understand.
He represents the opposite of what Lenny is. He desperately wants freedom, while Lenny likes rules.
He refuses the idea to be an hero. He knows that he is incapable.
Yo no soy un héroe, porque tengo miedo, como ustedes.
Lenny, at one point, tries to force him to accept responsibilities.
Every candidate for priesthood takes a vow of chastity. Their sexual predilections are irrelevant. Lenny, I'm not okay with this.
You must do what I ask.
And this leads to dramatic consequences.
I was experiencing a moment of weakness. If you need to have him sign a document that gets our church back on course, this would be the right time to do it. I've done my part, now you need to do yours.
What exactly have you done?
They are here.
Sister Mary deceives Lenny because she is afraid that Lenny is losing the church. So Sister Mary decides to put a mise-en-scène where Lenny finds again his parents. This is useful to distract Lenny and to bring again the church in the right way.
It's not them. Expel these imposters from my home immediately.
It was interesting to do a pope that's an orphan. The condition of an orphan forces the orphan to be a child also when he grows up.
A priest never grows up because he can never become a father. He'll always be a son.
So there is a war inside him between the need to be a child and at the same time there is the need to be an adult because he has to lead people. From a rational point of view, Sister Mary believes Lenny is not a good pope. But at the same time, she knows that he has a sort of power to do the miracles. For this reason, she also believes that he must be the Pope.
You are a saint.
Lenny, he has a sense of guilt. Also, he decides to be more open-minded. The way he's leading the church, he's not so sure that the faithful will go back. So he follows the advice of the other people, of Sophia, that says, let's go to Africa. Something that at the beginning was impossible to think for him. At the end of that episode, he decides to pray God about Sister Antonia. We don't understand if he's asking God to kill Sister Antonia or another kind of thing.
We can no longer put off this matter.
I think it's important to keep this ambiguity, because when we pray, we share our secrets just with God and not with the audience. So I think that's important that the audience doesn't understand very well what's going on.
How will you live?
Through there. They're going to have to tear out the wall, turn it all into one gigantic window, and out I'll go, dangling in midair.
It'll be a spectacular sight.
I thought it was interesting after 8 episodes inside the Vatican to go outside to have another main character, in this case Gutierrez. It was refreshing for the audience to stay 1 hour far from the Pope.
Gutierrez is the good man going through sufferance and pain. His arc is what I think really changes Lenny's vision at the end.
He transformed fear into anger. Very good. Gutierrez.
Lenny meets a cardinal that speaks to him about Blessed Joanna, a young woman that was really a sort of saint for the things that she said.
This story tells us something important.
What?
That goodness, unless combined with imagination, runs the risk of being mere exhibitionism.
And this impresses Lenny. He believes he is ready to face the crowd and to say exactly the same words of this young girl of 15, 16 years old.
And all the children asked her, "Who is God?" And Juana replied, "God smiles."
I prefer that we don't understand if he really sees his parents or if he just sees some guys that are a little bit hippie and so they remind him his parents. I think it's a sort of mystery that must remain a mystery. We don't know if there are saints or if there are miracles. To be a saint is a mystery. I prefer that the audience decides if Len is a saint or not.